Hi everyone, Michelle here from the Junk Journal Studio. Well, I'm super excited. It is day 8 of the Botanical Christmas Challenge and giveaway. And today is my day for a video combining botanicals with Christmas. That is the challenge. Anyone can participate. We go until the 19th of December, so we've got a good solid 2 weeks left. It's not too late. If you would like to participate, let me tell you how it works. The Junk Journal Studio has 5 mega packs that are botanical collage and cluster themed. Guys, these are fantastic. They are ginormous, chocked full of all kinds of glorious goodness. They're filled with birds and butterflies, so not just botanicals, heaps of authentic ephemera, a zillion billion labels, I'm sure, and tickets and stamps and tea cards. And yeah, they are awesome, useful all year long. And I must say, a little challenging for me anyways. It doesn't seem like for a lot of the others that are participating to combine mushrooms and some of these botanicals with Christmas, but that is the challenge. And I guess that's why it's called a challenge. So yes, we have the green botanical base kit. We have the yellow, 34 pages, red, 43 pages, blue, 42 pages, and pink, 45 pages. So the challenge is to use any piece, at minimum, one piece from one of these kits. So you certainly do not need to have all 5. You could pick up one kit if you haven't already, although I know a lot of you guys have already, and combine it with some Christmas kits. And I'm about to show you the covers for it here in a moment. And that's the challenge, to create something with botanical and Christmas. So let me just briefly show you the Christmas kits. We have the Christmas Ephemera Mega Pack, 33 pages, all authentic ephemera. Christmas Fussy Cuts, 24 pages. And then we have the Christmas Wonder Series, which is my favorite series in my shop. We have Kit 1, journal pages, Kit 2, coordinating pages, Kit 3, ephemera, Kit 4, more ephemera, and Kit 5, fussy cuts and labels. All of these digitals are on sale for 50% off during the entire time that the challenge is going on. And they're already priced really good. So that is a steal of a deal. So if those look interesting to you at all, now would be a great time to pick them up and then join us. That would be super duper awesome. There's no project too big or too small. You could create a tag or a journal card or a pocket or a folio or a Christmas ornament or an entire journal. Whatever it is that you are able to do is perfect. And you can share it on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Add the hashtag Botanical Christmas Challenge so that everyone can find you. And as an added bonus, over in the Fans of the Junk Journal Studios Facebook group, we are having a giveaway where you can win a free digital every day during the challenge. And it's a free digital of your choice from the Junk Journal Studios Etsy shop. And how that works is create a project, take a picture, add the hashtag Botanical Christmas Challenge, share it with the group, inspire us by your creation, and everyone at the end of that day will be entered into a random name selector app, and somebody will be chosen, and whoever that winner is gets to pick their free digital from the studio shop. And the exciting thing is that every day is a brand new day. We start over again. And so you could enter every single day. New project, new photo, and a new opportunity to win. And we've already had one lady win twice now. So it's super duper fun and exciting. And on top of that, there is a calendar full of inspiration here. It is made up of the Junk Journal Studios design team, along with one special guest, Bobby from Precious Memory Boxes Junk Journaling. It started on the 28th, so we're already past those 3 days. And now we are Friday, December 5th. That is me. I'll be back on the 12th and then the 19th Today, I should say, yesterday was Debbie from Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. Fantastic project, and she's doing a little bit of a series, which is great. Sam from Sam's Paper Creations, she is not on YouTube, she's on Instagram. I loved her project. And yeah, there've just been a ton, everyone that's created so far for the design team. It's just been awesome. And so we have another solid 2 weeks of that, which is really, really exciting. All of their links are found down below in the description box, along with the links to all of the digitals, the Junk Journal Studios Facebook group, and there's a calendar that you can find, and all the information that you can find that's in this poster is featured at the top of the Junk Journal Studios Facebook group. So you can find that there, and you can find the calendar in my Kofi shop, which brings me to Freebies. If you haven't been following along, then you will have not seen this freebie here. It's a 4-page freebie, and so I want to show it to you again, just in case you haven't seen yet, because it is available for you, whether you play along in the challenge or not. So be sure to pop on over, grab this 4-page freebie. You can find it in my Kofi shop. It is a tea stain doily that I made. We have it here in the muted red, and then the tea stain in the back, and then we have it in the green, and again the tea stain in the back. Super duper pretty. I'm obsessed with them. This the colors go fantastic with the Christmas Wonder series, so yeah, include that in your Christmas projects for sure. And then there's another freebie today. It doesn't look like much. It's just a CD envelope. It's not the exact size of traditional CD envelopes. It's a little bit smaller and catered to my project today. This is fantastic to have, not just for people that maybe some of you guys that don't have CD envelopes, but I'm going to use it as a template that I'm going to reprint on, and then I'll still see all my borders, and then I can cut it out and it'll be a patterned CD envelope, which is super duper cool. So that's what we're going to be creating with today. I'm excited about the project. Let's get started. I have a rough prototype here. It's not decorated, it's not finished. There's some changes and stuff I'm going to make, but just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what today's project is going to be, it's this little flip book that has all of these windows in there from the CD envelopes, and we're going to have tags and tabs and yeah, all kinds of stuff. So super excited about that. I want to show you what these pages look like when you print that template of that CD envelope that I showed you, and you put it back through your printer and you print a pattern page on it. That's what you get. So that's how I'm not having to cut all this out. I'm just printing it, and there you go. Really cool. So we have, this is from Kit 2, Christmas Wonder. So is that, and so is that. So those are 3 envelopes that we will be making today. And then we are going to be using Kit 1, Christmas Wonder. So is that, and so is this for our journaling cards. And then we're going to use a part of this for the inside of one of our envelopes. This from Kit 2 inside of our envelope, this from one of the botanical base kits, as well as these tabs are from the botanical base kits. And I think that's all the pages that we will be using, so let's jump in. Okay, so I have my CD envelopes here. I started to fold one because I realized I need to fold them before I have my edges to be able to to distress them. So I turned the camera back on. I just wanted to share a couple of things with you guys. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. They're easy to fold. You just, I tend to come in with the bottom first, and then I fold one side in, other side in. They're a little bit finicky, and you know, wanting to get them pretty bang on. Otherwise, you're going to see the black line or the brown line or whatever for the borders. But that's not a big deal. And then I always like these flaps, the top of the flap that meets the paper right here, to kind of be flush. I don't want it like sticking up higher or you know, lower. I like it to be flush, because when we put one flap inside the other, nice, straight, kind of clean line like that. Looks really nice. So that's how I like to do it. And so I do that, and then I fold my flap over, and then I just kind of open it up and take a look. If you find any of your edges sort of, you know, kind of getting in the way when you're doing any of your folds, it shouldn't, because I tapered everything in pretty good. But if it does, just give it a tiny little trim. But that one looks good. And so I'll just fold the next one together, and then I'll fold the last one and distress it and come right back. So we got the bottom, one side. You can see that one's sitting a little bit higher. I know it's totally nitpicky, but as soon as I see that, I know something's wrong, because if I folded it really well, I won't see any of the borders. And I looked over right away, and that's the first thing I noticed, is that I could see the border. And that's because it was not quite, oops, not quite, oh, what am I doing now? Not quite folded right. Okay, and then we have this one. There we go. Just readjust here a little bit. Perfect. And then our flap. Looks good. And then I have the last one here, and I'll distress and be right back. Okay, so I have them all folded and inked. I just wanted to say that using a bone folder and getting a really good sharp crease is definitely very helpful. The other thing is that these get folded up like that, and then the flaps come over. So this edge right here does not need to be distressed. And also the top of the flap here, because we're going to cut it, and then, yeah, it'll just get put into the other one. But I do really like where these seams meet. I do like to have it distressed there. So I do this crease right there on the inside. Okay, so the very first envelope is this one here. And we are going to have it where the flap is on the left, and it's going to tuck under and hold everything together like that one did. So the flap's coming from this side like that, and it tucks under, and it gets stuck to whatever envelope you have last. This could go on and on, you guys. I was thinking of all kinds of different ways that you could create some cool stuff with CD envelopes, which I think I'm going to explore. But anyways, that's how it goes. The other two flaps go in the opposite direction. So let's see, we open it up here. Then our next one is going to be this one right here. Another problem that I ran into is it is really easy to get your journal cards stuck on one of the flaps, because one is going into the other, and then you have a liner and you have the acetate, and there's just a lot of things to get caught up on. So my workaround for that is to actually glue the flap to the CD envelope next to it before you even put your acetate or your background that you want to see in the back inside your window. I cut that because when it is joined to this envelope, seam to seam here, if it was any wider, it would come out over this window. And so, sorry guys, I just kind of wung it because I've done it so many times. But I cut, well, let's see here. What did I cut? maybe half of it. A way that you can tell is, I'll show you on the next envelope actually. So I cut my flap. It's not going to go out over that window right there. And so the next thing I want to do is attach this envelope to this one here. However, we want a window in every flip of the, oops, these go on the outside. Every time we turn a page, we want to see an envelope. So front cover, a window. So front cover, we saw a window, and then so this needs to be flipped over so we can see the window, and then this flap, hold your your envelope together. It's a little bit fiddly, and that flap needs to get glued to that right there. Can even close this up a little bit, probably a good idea. Fold this back, kind of push down, make sure it all looks good, it's all lined up. Open it back up. Looks good. You can even pull it back a little bit because you don't want them really running into each other. And because, especially if you distress there, you'll be able to see, and you can just pull it back just a tiny little bit. And so we're just going to pull that flap back, give it some glue. Oh, and then move. Don't do that. Don't move. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks good still. Okay. And there we go. We've attached the first one. If you close it up there, you can see it all looks good. And there we go. First one, easy peasy. And then the second one is going to go in here. And so we want to unfold it. I should say this, I guess this is our third one. Now, if I put it seam to seam like that, and then I flip over to see it comes out over the window. So you want to get rid of your flap about, I don't know, maybe about halfway. Not on your very first one though, because like I said, this one is treated differently because it's going to wrap around and keep everything together at the end. So don't cut your front cover. Whatever your front is, don't cut that one. But we're going to do 3 altogether, front cover and then 2 more. So that was number 1 and this is the second one. And so here we go again. We want to make sure when I close that up, like we're going to after, that we have a window again. So we have every flip, we have a window, and a window. So kind of hold these together like they're glued. Slip this one in just inside. Pull back a tiny bit so that their edges aren't running into one another when you open and close it. You can push down. You can even go like this a little bit. Make sure everything is nice and straight. Just looking at my seams down here, and I have one that's sticking out more, so I'm just going to try and pull that down a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to just stick my finger under here and just hang on to it a tiny bit so it doesn't slip out too much. Adjust it if I need to. But that looks pretty good again, and now I'm going to hold it in place again. Go like that, and then I'm going to pull this back. yeah, I thought just making sure that my glue goes out to the very edges would do the trick. But no, I think even though it's a little bit more complicated looking to do it this way, I think gluing our acetate and our liners inside after we put the flaps in each of the pages, we'll call them, will work better in the end. And there we go. Just that easy, super quick. So we have our front cover, which this goes in, and then the flaps always go on the outside like a traditional CD envelope. So if you have them the other way, you'll notice that you'll be able to see them through the window. So you would have to trim them if you wanted them to be more seamless like that. You would have to trim them because they're going to poke through and be seen in the window. But a traditional CD envelope is like that. I hope that's not too confusing. I don't always do a good job at explaining things. Okay, so we've got all of those glued in. So the next thing to do is to do our acetate and our liners. Okay, so I have all my papers here for my liners. So for the first envelope here, my liner is going to come from this page here, and also the journaling card that goes in it is going to be the bottom of this page. So what we're going to do is cut out all our liners first. So I'm using this for the first envelope, and then I'm using this one from the Botanical Base Kit for the second, and then I'm using this one for the third and last envelope. And I've got a card here that I've been using because I kind of what I want to see on the inside of the envelope. It's hard once they're like this to kind of, you know, see what exactly you're going to see through the window. And so I have this here so I can kind of move it around, and I sort of know, you could even actually, I was just thinking, would it help if it was, no, probably not. I was thinking of quarters. Anyways, pretend I didn't say that. I want to make sure I leave lots of room to get my journaling card here. So I think I'm just going to come right up to the top like that. And so what I've been doing too is, so I don't have to get out my paper cutter or my X-Acto knife or anything like that. I have literally just been tracing around it. It is 4 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches, oops, square. So easy peasy. And that pretty much covers the entire surface so that there's not going to be stuff to get caught on. Well, actually doing it this way, I think, because the other one I didn't do that way, but doing it this way, I think it'll stop anything from getting caught because it'll lay over top of all of our flaps. You'll see when we get there. But 4 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. That's what we want all our liners to be. So I've drawn out one there. Here, obviously it doesn't matter where. Oops. So I'll go with the borders and then on my line there and there. And then for this one, I want to get this printing in here. And so, and also, let me think. Yeah, no, never mind. We'll do this. So there we go. Go with the white borders. And so I will cut all of those out. And then for our acetate, we need 3 pieces, and the acetate needs to be 4 1/4 inches as well. So once I've got those liners cut out, I'll be back. Okay. Now, for our liners, which I think is probably the better thing to do before the acetate, because the acetate we don't want to get glue on. So we sort of want to do as much as we can before we put the acetate on. As you can see, I wasn't overly careful in cutting completely straight lines, which it totally doesn't matter. This is good. It covers like 99% of that, which is all that matters. So, and we don't need to do any inking. I'll just glue these down. Make sure you glue them down the right way. Check in your window. That would have been the wrong one, so good thing I checked in the window. Yes, that's what I want to see. Okay. So, flip it over, get our glue on it. Hope you guys are doing good. Didn't even say hi and ask you how you were doing. Okay. There's no right side up or anything directional, so don't really have to worry too much about that. Okay, there we go. Number one. And then for this one, I want this paper. If I fold it, oops, over and have a peek in the window, what do we see? Yeah, perfect. So glue this one on. Oh, I'm always excited every day to see the design team's projects. Oh, they've been awesome. Hopefully you guys can join us. Even if you aren't able to create projects and you're just able to watch and follow along. Okay, there we go. That one looks good. And last, again, nothing directional, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. There we go. Looking good. Okay, so now for our acetate. Which, like I said, what did I do with it? Here it is. Here is the same size, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square. I'm just looking for my other piece of acetate. It blends in, so it's easy to lose. Okay, here we go. Got it, got it. Okay, so you can use, if you don't have acetate, you could use packaging from, you know, just the clear plastic that they put on packaging, or vellum. I've even seen people use lace, tracing paper. I've always kind of wondered if page protectors, if you could even make that work. I kind of think that you might be able to. I actually don't even, I think this is transparency, overhead transparency that I found at the thrift store. But as you can see, well, you probably actually can't see, but it covers pretty much the entire surface, just like that did. So nothing is going to get caught, and it sits over top of that flap right there. So that is perfect. Now, of course, we don't want to get any glue in or on the vellum. So don't go too close to this edge like I just did, or you'll, well, or you'll end up with it on your vellum. And let's see, get my bearings, because I didn't do that first one, the prototype, like this. I decided after playing around that that's what I was going to do. So This is kind of a first, doing it this way. Always rub out away from the window when you're doing this. I did get a little tiny spot of it there, but that's okay. There we go. Looking good. And then the next one. Nice thin line. Yeah, I guess you want to be careful when you're putting it down, because if you need to slide it a little bit, that's what happened on that other one, is that you'll slide it, but it'll slide into the opening, which you don't want. So be careful putting it down. Okay, looks good. And the last one. I'll fast forward for this one. Okay, that's awesome. Now, next we are going to close our envelopes up. I think, I have to think about this for a minute now. Flaps, oops. The flaps always on the outside like that, on the outside. And on the outside, we close that up. And then this is what we'll seal. We'll go over here and it'll hold it all together, and we have our little book. And then we just have to open up the side here. Okay, so yeah, we can glue down. So then next would be, as you can you can see where there's that, just that little fine line in between the two envelopes where it folds. So we don't want to go into that. So we just put a thin line right at the edge there. It also, if you come too far down, then you're going to be closing up your pocket, and then our cards aren't going to fit either. So just a really nice thin line right there, just at the very bottom. And then push it down. And then we can glue our flaps. And you can see here that if I went straight out, you know, so I don't want to put, well, actually, it lines up pretty good, but you don't want glue right there because it will go on your seam. Yeah, see, a little bit like that. So just stay away from that corner a little bit. Like that. Next. That was pretty close, Michelle. I think we're okay though. Okay, did I just seal them all up? Yeah, they're all sealed up except for, oh no, we're not all done yet. glue happy. Notice that they're not quite lined up. The edges there between the all three of them, but we can play with that a little bit and smoosh it down with our bone folder after. Okay, so I believe we're gonna have one still open. Yeah, it's that first one here because nothing is going into it, so we still have to close that one up, right? Yes, we do, that last one. So we just want to put, we don't want to close up our pocket, so we just want a super duper thin line right along there. And it's okay if the glue seeps out a little bit because it's just going to help everything hold together, because we're going to shut this on it anyways. And fold that over. And then we're going to glue our back flap. And if we did it right, there should be no more openings until we cut the tops or the sides to put the journal cards in. They should all be sealed up now, which they are. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Is it? Oh no. What? Oh. Is that one the same way? No. Okay. Just check. You know what I just did with that one, where I had to glue it a little bit? Apparently you have to here as well. Just a really thin line. There we go. Now they're all closed up. Perfect. Okay. And then if you're just kind of off a little bit, you could kind of readjust it a little bit here, and then, you know, grab your bone folder and press it all down and such. But we're looking pretty good. And now we want 3 journal cards to fit in these. So we're going to cut just a tiny sliver off of these 3 edges here so that we can fit a journaling card in there. Just a sliver should do the trick. Yep. Perfect. Oh, ripped it there. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, awesome. There we go. Okay, so that's our front cover. Ta-da! All right, now for the journaling cards. For our journaling cards, I have the same thing as I had with the liners. I have a little cheat card here that's 4 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to use it to sort of trace around my images for the journaling cards. I did want to note that it is taking a little longer than I expected for the glue to dry in these, and I'm assuming it's probably because it's acetate, so be sure to give it lots of time to dry. Okay, so I'll set that aside. Now, I've already pre-cut my 3 journaling cards as well, 4 inches by 4 inches. The first one I want to cut is this Merry Christmas here. So we'll cut our border off, and then I just sort of want to center the Merry Christmas-ish. Looks good, right about there. Just draw a couple of lines. I'll use my paper cutter to cut these ones. So that's 4 inches by 4 inches. And then for this one, I want to center the bird and the nest. Looks pretty good. I don't want to cut his tail off. So we do that. And then the last one is this bell, which is obviously bigger than 4 inches by 4 inches, but we'll do our best. What I'm mostly looking for is the winter scene in the bell. Okay, I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer and I will trim these. I went ahead and cut out the journal cards and mounted them on my file folder here. I've got this last one here. I distressed those already, but this one I have to do a little bit of trimming still, and then I'll give it some distress. There we go. Looking good. And next we will put our tabs on, but let's just give them a try here and see how they're looking. We have our cardinal in the first one. It's so pretty. What's that? Oh, it's part of the paper. I thought there was something on there. Okay, and then for the second one, we have this Merry Christmas. Yeah. And then this last one, we have our bell. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Very happy with that. Okay, and now I'm going to grab our tabs and our things to decorate. Well, I'm really glad that I looked up because my camera wasn't going. Thankfully, all you missed was me getting my tabs ready and putting them on. So all 3 of these tabs were punched with my whale tail, and the papers come from the Botanical. I believe this is the base kit, and these 2 are the red add-on. And so our top card is this beautiful cardinal. And what I did was I just put this at the top end, and then I just put this dead center, and then I just put this one near the bottom. And then I noticed after they could have been a little bit closer together, so I didn't have to go like tight against the bottom and the top on the cardinal. I could have brought them together a little bit more, but that's okay. I like the contrasting the green with the red, and then yeah, and so you can see there. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Okay. All right, super cute. They'd look great with some dangles. Okay, let's do some decorating next. So we'll start with our cardinal here. So I already have all my stuff for that. I wanted to show you, I'm going to raise some of them up. And so I've just taken a piece of cardstock here and I've just folded it over and then folded it over one more time. So that's like 3 layers, and that's how deep I want most of them. There are a couple pieces that I want to be 4 pieces thick, but so, and then I just open it up. I just put a bunch of glue in there, close it up like that, and then I just trim it to length and kind of get whatever it is that I need. So I've got a few done here already. Or you can use like sticky foam or what have you, mounting squares or whatever that stuff is called. I'm not a scrapbooker, so I'm not sure. Okay, so I think I wanted to have... Oh, and I should say, I just used my nail like this. You could also use like a pen like that to curl the edges like that. and just to give it a little bit of movement. And then when we raise it up, it's gonna look super cool. So I think I wanted to do that in that corner. I'm going to save this little skinny one for my label there. So let's grab a couple chunks of this. Glue it to the, whoop. Glue it to the back of our flower. Let that dry for a minute. Put some on this one here. Put 2 smaller ones. Okay, and then our Christmas time, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to just go with 2 more layers because I want it to sit higher. Oh my gosh, I got glue all over my hands. I want it to sit higher than my poinsettia. I need to get a finer point on there. There's just a lot of glue coming out of that thing. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, now I really want to put charms on those tabs. I definitely will. And I will, you'll either see it on the thumbnail or I'll share the photos in the Facebook group. Oops. Super pretty. Yeah, love it. Okay. I feel like I could come over a little bit more. All right, and then for the second one, I guess I'll have to be very careful of my petal there. I have these bits here. So you can see the berries and the holly in behind, and so I was kind of playing around with it, and I think I'll have it like that so you can see the berries on both sides. perfect. Okay, and last, for this one, we have a Holly Jolly snowman on some card. And I definitely want him raised up. Yeah, it looks great. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so we have the first one, the second one. I could trim that off there so it doesn't sort of get crushed, but I think I'd rather be careful. And we have this one, and then we have that one. Super cute. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoy the freebie, the template, and if you haven't got the doilies already, that you grab those too. If you haven't been over to the Fans of the Junk Journal Studio Facebook group, be sure to check it out. We would love to have you participating or following along. That would be awesome. All the links that you need will be found in the description box below. And thanks for watching. Bye. Hi guys, so I just wanted to show you what I added to this little CD journal. I wasn't feeling good when I ended the video, and so it's the next day and I'm feeling a little bit better. So I added, well, you saw the tabs on the journal cards, but I put eyelets in, and this one has a little gift and a bell, and this one has two bells, a little tiny one and a larger one. And then this one has a button, a bell, and a dove. And then I added some pockets. So I put this little pocket here and a butterfly, and I did it. I could not, for the life of me, imagine how I would combine mushrooms and Christmas, silly as it sounds. And although there's nothing Christmassy on this, it's a mushroom in my little Christmas journal, and I actually think it looks super cute. And why not? There's places around the world that mushrooms are growing right now around Christmas time, unlike where I'm at. But anyways, yeah, so there's a stamp there from the, this is all ephemera from either the Botanical Kits red add-on, and then that would be Christmas Wonder. And then I just ordered then I added this pocket right here, and that is from Botanical Red. That is from the base kit Botanical, and then that's Christmas Wonder, the poinsettia, and then this is, I think, the base kit of the Botanical. So those just live in there. And then that was it. So just the charms and the couple of extra pockets and the mushroom. And yeah, I love it. It's so cute. Really, really cute. I was trying to figure out how I could close it. I tried tying a couple of things around it here and there, but it just didn't look right. So anyways, yeah, super cute. Okay, bye guys.